today on WEEI, Matt goes on, and he's brought up Alabama a lot lately. He said it also earlier this week with Burt Breer when talking about going back to his roots. I think that's a big thing for me, keeping it loose, going out there, slinging it, and going back to the Alabama Mac. This, I think, bothers some people, and maybe I'm just listening from 2 to 6 too often. Oh, my God, I hear them all the time on 2 to 6. Why is he out talking about Alabama? Why is he talking about Alabama? You are here now. You're a pro quarterback. Stop worrying about what you did in college. But, Phil, I actually look at this, and I think, to me, it's not like I want to be exactly who I was in college, but I want to be the confidence I had in college. I want to feel like the Mac who was winning games in college. It's more about like a comfort level thing, not necessarily a style of play.
Yeah, I think this is a, in my opinion, this is a normal psychological tactic to remember the good times and not think about what happened last year because it was a bad time and because you do want to get back to being that confident guy. Imagine being Mac Jones and how confident he must have felt every time he set foot on the field for Alabama. Now, part of that is because he's surrounded by the best talent in the country and he knew they were going to succeed probably on a week-in, week-out basis. But if you can just get yourself back in that mode, I would think the results will follow. It's a mental game as much as it is a physical one, especially at that position.
Zappe hasn't looked great. Oh, go ahead.
My translation to that is, last year was so bad, like that his confidence was completely eroded, and now he's trying to get back to that. And so I don't have a problem with it at all. I think Phil's exactly right. He's like, all right, fine. Last year was a disaster. I'm trying to get back to where I was coming out of school as a rookie. I'm trying to discover that. I brought that confidence into the NFL. That's what I'm trying to rediscover.
Bailey Zappe probably trying to rediscover some confidence. He has not looked very good thus far during camp. Greg, did he look better on Saturday?
I thought he looked okay. I mean, he made a lot of plays. He had some plays that he wanted back. A lot of it was, what was going on around him in terms of the lack of protection. It was awful. I mean, when you brought in guys like James Ferentz and Andrew Stuber into the game, those guys as of right now are not NFL football players. And so he had a rough go of that. I did think he made some really good plays in this game. The fourth down play to score there, that showed a really nice instincts to do that. There were other instances where he's completing balls on third down. His completion percentage was not good in this game, but I thought he played okay.
We didn't see Malik Cunningham at all. Is he still considered the guy who might be the third quarterback on this team?
I don't
Greg's
know.
Shaking his head.
I don't know if that's the case for them. It sounds like Greg was there. Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like he didn't play a lot of quarterback in practice this past week, as opposed to the week before, leading up to that Texans game, where you saw him get full periods of practice back there at quarterback. And some of us were wondering, are they just trying to get ready for what's happening on the Texans side? No, they were trying to get him ready to play. It felt like that wasn't the same situation this week going into Green Bay.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of talk. I even heard on the Twins cast with the McCourties. They're like, where's Malik Cunningham? At the practices, Malik Cunningham did not play quarterback. He played a slash role once in a while. He touched the ball, lined up at quarterback. That was it, as opposed to the week before, like Phil's referencing, where they actually gave him extended playing time, practice time to get ready to play quarterback. We'll have to see how that changes the next couple of days with practice. I think they're trying to get a look of the totality of Malik Cunningham. They got a glimpse at quarterback. A lot of wide receiver work. He's gotten special teams work. They're trying to figure out whether he's worth a spot on the 53-man roster, and we'll have to see how that takes shape this week.
Can I just say real quick, why would that even be a question? Like, you're looking for explosive, exciting players, and there's got to be something there, right? There's got to be enough to say, especially if you can be a gunner. We know Belichick loves gunners. So it's like, if you can do something on special teams with just the little bit of excitement that you've already brought, Phil, it seems to me like give this guy a shot.
And he won't slip through waivers, right? Like, he won't make it to the practice squad.
I don't know. He might. If we don't see him again this coming week in the third preseason game, and all you have to go off is one drive, if you're another team out there, are you willing to make that investment? Put the guy on your 53-man roster, cut somebody who has spent all spring and summer with you, and say, no, we liked the 5 plays that this guy had in early August. Like, that might not happen. So maybe they do get him through. I would just say I wish they played him more at quarterback, because I do think there might be a little bit of something there, and I think it's worth it to develop somebody who has that kind of playmaking ability at that position.
If you're going right now about what the film says, if he's going to play quarterback in this league, he's at least like 2 or 3 years away. Wide receiver, he did not show well the other night on film. He didn't. Special teams, he's smaller. He hasn't done that. That's going to be a project for him. So does that mean a 53-man roster spot for him? Is somebody really going to claim him and put him on their 53-man roster when they haven't had him? They don't know whether he can play quarterback in this league at 5'11". As of today, he's a practice squad guy. He's a guy you would love to get back on the practice squad. They're just going to have to figure out whether that can happen. I've talked to some scouts, and they're just like, and Mike Giardi has at BSJ, where people are like, settle down, Boston. Like, yeah, he showed well in the last quarter against the Texans in a preseason game, but is a long ways off.
I just would worry, my one worry if I'm the Patriots would be if a team like the Cardinals, right, who's not competing for anything this year, they have a mobile quarterback who's dealing with an injury already. Maybe he comes back this year, maybe he doesn't. Why not roll the dice and add this guy to your 53 when you might only have 40 NFL players, and that might be generous on your roster as it stands anyway? That would be my one concern, because again, I do find him worthwhile as a developmental prospect.
And he would fit into their, smaller stature quarterback.
Exactly.
Room.